So each team we selected plays in a different league besides the ACB. My choice was Madrid. They play in EuroLeague. Darvis, your choice, Barcelona, also in EuroLeague. And Raleigh, your choice, Zaragoza, plays in Champions League. So I think they have an advantage over other teams right away because they're in a better rhythm. And, if you're playing during the week and you're not just practicing against the same faces for 5 days and then going into a game, I think your mindset is different. You're in a different competitive spirit going into the weekend. But do you see any advantages of playing in another league?
I do, because like you said, it gives you a different look for teams that you're not familiar with. You're playing against squads that you might actually be more successful with, and then you might be able to bring that same energy into another league that's a little bit tougher. For your team, it allows you the opportunity to grow. It gives other people chances to step up in situations that they might not face, or they actually might get put into with these higher difficult leagues. So I think you get that rhythm and carry it over to the next league, and you might give yourself some better success.
What's funny to me is 9 out of the 18 teams in the ACB play in other leagues. So you would think that all of these teams have the advantage, but that's not the case. Some of them are not even in the top 8 and making a playoff run. Some are towards the bottom of the league. So is there anything about having those extra games during the week? Do you think that hurts anyone's chances?
I do think it hurts their chances sometimes because you need rest, right? If you're playing 3-4 games a week, that's a lot of stress on your body, and it doesn't give you time to rest. It doesn't give you time to practice. Practicing is preparation for the game, and so if you're not practicing, you're not able to prep for that game, and it just makes it a little bit harder for adjustments during games when you are playing. So those teams that are in multiple leagues, it definitely is tough for sure.
It kind of brings it back to that load management conversation we had. You got your star players. You don't want them getting burned out. Playing too much in 2 leagues. But again, you also got to know your personnel. Some of those guys, they have that type of energy where they could just keep going and going and going. But as that coach and staff, they got to be aware of their players' physical health.
Yeah,
so. I'm such in favor of a team being able to run their system and just be a great team that I think no matter what, if you have injuries, because every team goes through injuries, no matter if you're a good or a bad team, but if you have a system that's winning, you should be able to take that and continue rolling.
Definitely.
And we've seen it with the best teams. Plug them in. And if something happens, it happens because you can get injured in practice. You can get injured in a game. I think that system that the coach is running is what is the deciding factor. And if I'm the coach, I'm, in favor of having more games because I feel like your players don't want to continue to be drilled over and over as much as the coach loves it. And you try to perfect what's going on. Players need to play. And that's what a lot of them want to do, especially as professionals. So sometimes it's best to just get out of the way and let them play. But, every team doesn't have this option. Do you feel like, with your choice of the ACB, the leaders, and, winning, do you feel like there's anyone that can be a sleeper and take this ACB title?
Again, my choice was Zaragoza because right now they have one of the keys to winning tournaments, which is rebounding. Right now they're second in the league in rebound with 34 a game. And, when it comes to playoffs, you want to make sure you secure those second chance points for the opposite team. If your team controls the ball, then, that's more time for you to put numbers up, less time for the other team to put numbers up. So, in playoff time, that's what you want, your team rebounding and controlling the clock.
With Valencia beating your choice, Barcelona, do you feel like they have what it takes to do the same thing when it comes to ACB playoff time?
They definitely have what it takes. Like I said, they have a real leader in Miricic. They have a bunch of players that are very capable, and not only capable of scoring the basketball, but very capable basketball players as a whole. They're very intelligent, smart basketball players. You got Brandon Davies, went to BYU. You got Leandro Barbosa, who is an NBA vet for a while, right? Has been on a lot of playoff teams, and he's somebody that can definitely be a sleeper as a player and fill up the box score.
You know what I mean? Have a flashback.
We also have Malcolm Delaney, and I think sometimes people question why he's possibly not in the NBA, but that's a whole nother conversation right there.
Let's get into that conversation, because Malcolm Delaney was contemplating whether to sign another NBA contract or be one of the best players in Europe, and he was a highly sought after free agent, with a lot of EuroLeague teams going after him. So, with him not being in the NBA, what's the reason why you say he's not there?
So I think for Malcolm is one of the biggest things is, like you said, he can arguably be the best player in European basketball, right? And then if he goes to the NBA, he probably goes down to like a 9 or a 10 spot, and maybe he signs a 2-way contract with the team. And I think his thought process is, I can be either the best player here or a number 10 here. You know what I mean? And
that's a no-brainer option.
For sure, that's a no-brainer. And not only are you a number one, considerably a number one here, you can also win a championship. You also have a chance at winning a championship. So in my eyes, I think for him, it's the smartest decision. It's the best decision that he made.
I liked Malcolm Delaney's game when he was in the NBA. He was an excellent shooter.
Yeah.
And he brings that to EuroLeague as well with Barcelona. And I feel like he's just another weapon that defenses have to focus on. So whenever you have those, it always gives you another edge. And, obviously they're one of the favorites to win. 2 more championships, I should say. But, any other roster players you can think of that could be in the NBA right now from ACB?
I was thinking of Askia Booker. He played with the 76ers G League. He put up 15 points a game in 24 minutes. So, that's pretty much a role player position that you could find in the league right now. You got a lot of teams that are still in the hunt that need that guy to come off the bench to keep them alive when those star players are out for those couple of minutes. But I feel like he still has a chance to sneak into the league and actually make something of himself.
We've talked about this before, and for a player to make that decision, it comes down to, do you want to get back to working for a roster spot, or do you want to continue to be the star?
Yeah.
Maybe not even the star, but have a bigger role, and that comes from an individual standpoint and an individual decision you have to make.
Yep.
And having a guaranteed contract is important in my opinion. So we'll talk about a few more players right after this.